Okay, folks, good morning and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond and it is 5:40 in the AM Eastern Standard Time. So, President's Day is officially over. We are back to work. The markets are now open. And before we go to the pre-market activity and stock chart request, let's take a look first at economic data. What we have coming out today, 8:30 a.m., is the Empire Manufacturing Survey. Not huge, but it can give us some insights into the underlying economy, which is dead. Retail sales tomorrow, industrial production, capacity utilization, and the FOMC minutes tomorrow. So tomorrow gets a little bit more heated up. Interesting. We go into the day. I'm going to be doing this from now on. I spent a lot of time over the weekend looking at where we're at technically, where we are at valuation-wise, and we're jumping the shark at this point. So, the path of least resistance remains to the long side, no doubt about it. But we are at Schiller PE ratio 35.83. We're going to open up higher than that this morning. All-time high 44.19. But remember, back here, we had nowhere near over 20 trillion in debt. We do now. Let's go to the pre-market activity. We'll kick things off with the VIX. The VIX is down. You remember that on Friday. Hey, Big Bear. On Friday, we closed down at the lowest level since March of 2020. So that implied to me that we may be getting ready for a blow-off top here in the market. Taking a look at the S&P 500, it is up spot 48%. We were up high. We faded a bit. Still a healthy chart. Drilling down here a minute. No lower lows. What I will say is this: the volume from yesterday, which was expected to be low, was incredibly low. And today, not all that much better. And the volume of late across the board on an end-of-day closing basis for normal equities, not futures, has been extremely light. The Russell 2000 up 1%, threatening a breakout here. This is a 4-hour chart. We're spending a lot of time flirting with this resistance level. But the path of least resistance will probably show that the trend continues. Where are my Nasdaqs? Nasdaq 100 up just shy of 0.5%. Off the highs of the session slightly. But overall, looking bullish here. The Dow up well over 0.5%. Looks like we're setting up for a move up higher. Stair stepping higher. Now, Bitcoin overnight had an alert fire off. Broke through 50K. Doesn't look like it held it though. No, it didn't. Here, right here. Broke through, pulled back. Just be cautious here. One thing I'm picking off is that while we broke out, we didn't hold it, and that added a little bit of bearishness to the RSI, which while we've been putting in higher lows on price of Bitcoin, RSI has been trending down. We did break out overnight. Perhaps we'll pull back, retest. Not quite sure what's going on here, but red flag on the track. All right. Just setting up a warning here. Okay. Big Bear. It's the YOLO times. Everyone chasing the next big stock and saving money for that, I believe. Yeah, they are. It's you know, this can go on for another month or two, you know, maybe even longer. You know, nobody's got a crystal ball on how this is going to end up, but there's only one guarantee. It's not going to be good, man. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. Palladium attempted to break out overnight. It failed. Platinum, new all-time highs, pulling back here. I shouldn't say new all-time highs. I don't know that for a fact. New higher highs, though. Nat gas. Looking good. Cold weather down in Texas. Helping fuel the price, pardon the pun. Pun completely intended. Where is gold? Before we go to gold, I want to go to the dollar first because it matters. The dollar broke support, and it broke it handedly. Here's your head and shoulders setup. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline broken. Dollar's going lower. We could see an 80 handle. And I think this is going to be the last time we spend any amount of time above 90 for a while on the U.S. dollar. You know, once we cut through this alert I have set up here, it's not going to look good for the dollar. They're going to sell it off and sell it off hard. Now, gold, which you would think would benefit, is up, but up only slightly. Are we putting in a higher low? Yes. Could we break out? Yes. But the price action of late has not been awe-inspiring. The reason is that yields have been going higher with, of course, bond prices moving lower. Where are my 10 years? Here's the 10-year Treasury note. Note the same setup here as the dollar. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline broken. Back here on the 12th. And it looks like we're going lower. Yields are going higher. Costco. We just did Bitcoin. Looking good. Just watch out for the RSI on a 4-hour time frame. A little bit of a bearish divergence going on. But broke through 50K. Didn't hold it. So bonds, looking for a potential lower low here. Now, what if bonds begin to catch a bid? That's not going to bode well for stocks. And I'm going to argue that if bond yields continue up measurably higher, it's not going to end well for stocks, in particular small caps and equities. Not small caps and equities. It's still early for his cup of coffee. Small caps and, in particular, technology stocks. Corn prices coming off a bit, but still up. Soybeans consolidating. Wheat beginning to move up higher out of this consolidation. Okay, wheat catching a bid. All right, so that's the futures action. Lean hogs, protein, ripping. Look at this. It's crazy. This is a weekly chart. It's crazy. Home heating oil, ripping. Copper. They're expecting global growth here. Okay. We're freezing here in South Texas. It's 12 degrees, really. What is it normally this time of year? Big Bear's out of South Texas. All right, we're going to go to do some chart requests. We'll use TrendSpider. Folks, I'm not going to go through my TrendSpider pitch this morning, but if you're interested, there's a 35% discount code below in the video description area. It's usually high in the 60s and sunny. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Stay warm, my friend. It's not even that cold here in New York. All right, the first couple I have up here are for Tuan, TIGR. Let's go to a daily chart here. This looks like a SPAC. There's not going to be much data here, no. It's one of those nosebleed stocks or ADRs in this case. Trading above the 3D Bollinger Band on a monthly time frame. Very extended weekly time frame. That being said, the daily chart doesn't look bad. I mean, you had a nice bullish range drop. That means that you saw volume move in at the end of the day on Friday. Our uptrend, I'll take the trend lines off. Our uptrend is clear and defined. Upper band in green, lower band in blue. A little bit of new rising resistance. If we break out above this upper band in green, expect this to act as resistance in red. But we did flash an outside reversal bar on Friday, and it does appear that we are going to move up higher. But I would wait for a close. We're way too close to resistance to pull the trigger. And frankly, you know, me personally, we're so far extended on a weekly and monthly time frame. I have to invoke my old adage is that it's not going to end well. It's come too far too fast. So your best bet is to wait for a shakeout. And there we go. Where might there be a support level? Obviously down here in blue is one. We might see $20 hold as support. So me personally, I would not get involved with this. The lone reason, or reasons I should say, where we're at historically on a relative basis, way too far extended. When you're using your Bollinger Bands, this is not going to end well, man. I know it's been going on for week after week after week. I know that some of you that are new out there may be saying, this old dude's got it wrong. I'm telling you, folks, I've been doing this a long time. All good things come to an end, and this is going to come to a disastrous end. So please, pretty please, with sugar on top, be very, very careful. If you're going to get involved with it, use a trailing stop loss order. I can't tell you what to do, but be careful. Daily time frame looking good. Weekly, monthly time frames looking like a train wreck waiting to happen. Good morning, Paul. FUTU. FUTU. Let's do the same as we did before. Monthly chart. Again, I mean, same deal here, but this is already, the wheels are already coming off this one. We were all the way up at 207.61. Where do we close? This is a monthly time frame. 147.57. Think about the poor SOB who bought up here. So still, despite the fact that we've come off the highs, this is bearish. When you get these long wicks, shadows, that's money leaving. That's profit taking. That's musical chairs. And eventually that music's going to stop. And somebody's going to be left, or some bodies are going to be left without a chair to sit down on. So be careful here. Weekly chart. You have RSI at nearly 92. You're one BIP away from 92 on RSI. This is madness. Big selling action, a lot of profit taking it down below the 3D Bollinger Band. I don't see a good entry point in this neighborhood. Perhaps down here, where we have the lows of this bottom shelf, or volume shelf, I should say, at 106 per share. You know, there, you'd want to look. I wouldn't just put an advanced order out saying I'm going to buy at that level. I want to make sure that it holds. Because if this market, or when this market gets going in the wrong direction, This is a financial bubble, right? And they go very, very fast. I'm going to track it. Daily chart. We closed at 147.57. The high of the week last week was 179.81. If you're not using the Bollinger Bands, it's really wise to do so. They help keep you out of trouble. And these are the 3D Bollinger Bands, third standard deviation Bollinger Band. If you're using TrendSpider or whatever charting service that you're using, simply edit. Normally, the out-of-the-box Bollinger Band is going to come with 2 deviations up, 2 deviations down. I'd switch it up because you get way too many false positives, false negatives when you use the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band. I go for a higher level, and I switch it up to a 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band. All right, so can this be bought here? If we fill the gap at around 130, 131, that becomes interesting. But the pullback is pretty significant, and they tried to rally it on Friday, and that rally was faded. So I would look for lower lows here. Hey Zeus, how you doing, pal? And what's the last one here? ACI. All right. Albertsons. I'm assuming this is a supermarket company that's in the South. Monthly time frame. Not much data here. A recovery play. Cyclical. I like the support that's being put in here. It's a staple, a consumer staple. Consumer discretionary names did not have a good week last week, despite the overall market. Now, obviously, Albertsons did not have a good week last week either. But I'll tell you, given that we are in a market that is extremely expensive, and for all I know, despite the fact that this stock is not that far off of its August lows, it could still be expensive. I'd have to look into it. It looks as though we are more nearer to a breakout and a move higher than we are to a top. So I like the support level down here. We'll keep a little bit of sensitivity on. And this is going to be a recovery play. It's more of an investment, multi-month, multi-year. I'm not sure if they pay a divvy or anything like that. But more research is warranted. Now, another way to play it is to simply buy the breakout. I don't want any sensitivity. I just care about, do we close out the day above that mark? And we'll keep this active for about 30 days. It's something I'd be interested in, especially if it paid a dividend. Just buy a few shares, tuck it away. I mean, if this market goes, there's not a huge amount of downside here. Daily chart. Very nice consolidation. Possible W formation forming. You know, we're splitting hairs at this point. We'll probably retest the support level. But I think that in all probability, we are going to find a bottom here very, very soon and begin to move up higher. The relative weakness versus the rest of the market is obviously a concern, but this is not a sexy sector. It's a staple. So ACI looking interesting from a long-term perspective. All right, we'll take two because I'm over the time here. Coke and Amazon, and we'll leave off with those. On a monthly time frame, at current, we're above this resistance level. We still have half a month to go, give or take. So does it hold it? We don't know. We don't know yet. Weekly chart. Now, the weekly chart looks very bullish. We broke above our resistance level at 50.25. Technically, it looks to be a buy, especially if we pull back and retest 50.25. I mean, we closed at 50.69. You know, it's still within a buy point. Daily chart. Continuation breakout on Friday. A little bit of a rejection, slightly, where this volume shelf was. And volume did drop off. Much better. So a close above 50.76 would be very, very bullish. Let's go to seasonality. Very good time of year. March in particular, up 82% of the time since 2010. 73% in April. So seasonally favorable period of time. Any insider activity? A lot of sales going on here. Let's go to the top echelon. %, holders, none. Couple of offices sold. Looks like Nancy Kwan's selling. Every year or so. Yeah, she's been pretty active selling. I'm not sure who she is. Directors. David Weinberg, been selling. Man, he's got a lot of shares. So insider selling here. but the chart looks pretty good. I don't know what type of influence these guys have, but some big block selling, excuse me, on the inside. So beware. The chart looks good. AMZN. Rejection of a breakout so far on the month. Big topping tail. Now, the weekly chart becomes a little bit more constructive because we broke out the week of the 1st of February. Last week, we pulled back. We retested the breakout point on Amazon. It appears as though we held. Do we retest again? Quite possibly. I think the shares could be bought, but with a tight stop, because you don't want to see a breakout point failure. Meaning, you don't want to see a close back down to within this triangle formation. You want to see this hold, the support level hold. Daily chart. Bullish reversal bar on Friday, closing just off the highs of the day. Pretty bullish stuff. I'd have to say that it appears as though Amazon wants to go higher. You have a bit of resistance above, but it appears as though it wants to go higher. So Amazon looking good. You're welcome, Paul. Hey, Eric, good morning. With that, folks, everybody have a profitable trading day, and I'll talk to you soon. Smash the like button, share with a friend. TrendSpider discount code 35% below, and I will talk to you soon. Be well, folks.